Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about the book Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. This is a book about women, work, leadership, and the choices people make in their careers and lives. The ideas in this book come from Sheryl Sandberg's own experiences as a leader in business and from research, stories, and conversations with many women and men. This summary is told in a simple, story-like way, as if it were spoken directly to you in a video. The goal is not to judge or pressure, but to explain the main ideas clearly so you can decide what matters to you. The book begins with a big and uncomfortable truth. Even though women have made a lot of progress in education and jobs, they are still not equally represented in leadership positions. In governments, companies, and organizations around the world, most top roles are still held by men. Sheryl Sandberg explains that this gap is not just caused by unfair systems or discrimination from others, although those things are real and important. She also says that many women hold themselves back, often without realizing it. This is where the idea of leaning in comes from. Leaning in means choosing to be active, confident, and present in your career, instead of stepping back or waiting for permission. Sheryl shares her own story to make this point real. Early in her career, she often felt unsure of herself, even when she was doing well. She describes moments where she downplayed her achievements or stayed quiet in meetings. Over time, she noticed that men were more likely to speak up, take credit, and go after opportunities even when they were not fully ready. Women, on the other hand, often waited until they felt completely prepared. This difference, she explains, has a big effect over many years. One of the strongest ideas in the book is about confidence. Sheryl talks about how women are often taught to be polite, helpful, and modest. Boys are more often encouraged to be bold, competitive, and outspoken. As adults, these lessons show up at work. Many women feel uncomfortable promoting themselves or talking about their successes. They worry about being seen as pushy or unlikable. Men usually worry less about this. The problem is that success often goes to those who are visible and vocal. The book explains that confidence does not always come first. Many people believe they must feel confident before they act. Sheryl argues the opposite. Confidence often comes after action. When you take a risk, speak up, or try something new, you slowly build confidence through experience. Waiting to feel ready can mean waiting forever. Leaning in means acting even when you feel unsure. Another major theme in the book is the idea of the leadership ambition gap. This refers to the fact that fewer women say they want to be leaders compared to men. Sheryl explores why this happens. One reason is a lack of role models. When women do not see people like themselves in leadership roles, it is harder to imagine themselves there. Another reason is the cost of leadership. Women who lead are often judged more harshly. They may be criticized for being too soft or too aggressive, too emotional or too cold. This double standard makes leadership look less appealing. Sheryl also talks about the importance of claiming your achievements. She explains that when men succeed, people often assume it is because of skill. When women succeed, people are more likely to say it was luck or help from others. Over time, women can start to believe this themselves. The book encourages women to own their success and recognize their abilities. This does not mean being arrogant, it means being honest and fair about your contributions. The book spends a lot of time discussing fear. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of not being liked, and fear of success itself. Sheryl explains that fear can quietly shape decisions, such as not applying for a job, not asking for a raise, or not sharing an idea. She introduces the idea of sitting at the table, both literally and metaphorically. In meetings, women often physically sit on the side or in the back. Metaphorically, they may see themselves as guests instead of full participants. Sitting at the table means believing you belong and acting like it. Another important topic in the book is negotiation. Sheryl explains that women negotiate less often than men, especially for salary and promotions. When women do negotiate, they may face backlash for breaking social expectations. This creates a difficult situation. The book does not ignore this problem. Instead, it encourages awareness and preparation. Women are encouraged to negotiate in ways that align with their values and the culture they are in, while still advocating for themselves. Sheryl emphasizes that change is needed at both the individual and organizational levels. The book also addresses the idea of career paths. She uses the metaphor of a jungle gym instead of a ladder. A ladder suggests a straight upward path. A jungle gym suggests movement in many directions, sometimes sideways or even down, to gain skills and experience. She encourages people to think about their long-term growth instead of only their next title. Taking on challenging roles, even if they are uncomfortable, can lead to greater opportunities later. A large and emotional part of the book focuses on balancing work and family. Sheryl talks openly about motherhood, partnership, and guilt. She explains that women are often expected to do more at home, even when they work full-time. This imbalance affects careers. Some women begin to step back professionally long before they actually have children, based on what they think will be expected of them in the future. Sheryl calls this leaving before you leave. She encourages women to stay engaged in their careers and make decisions when the time actually comes, not years in advance. She also emphasizes the importance of supportive partners. Equality at work is closely connected to equality at home. When men take on more responsibility in childcare and household tasks, women have more freedom to pursue their careers. The book makes it clear that this is not just a women's issue, but a social one. Sheryl also discusses the guilt many working parents feel, especially mothers. She challenges the idea that there is one right way to raise children, or one perfect balance between work and family. Everyone's situation is different. What matters most is making choices that are thoughtful and honest, not based on fear or pressure. She shares personal stories about her own family life to show that even people with resources and support struggle with these questions. Another key idea in the book is mentorship and sponsorship. Mentors offer advice and guidance, while sponsors actively advocate for you and help open doors. Sheryl explains that both are important, but sponsorship can be especially powerful. She encourages people to build real relationships at work and to support others, especially women supporting women. At the same time, she warns against expecting one perfect mentor to solve everything. Growth often comes from many different connections. The book also addresses the myth of doing it all. Sheryl explains that no one truly does everything perfectly at the same time. Success always involves trade-offs. Some seasons of life require more focus on work, while others require more focus on family or personal health. Letting go of perfection can reduce stress and allow people to focus on what matters most in the moment. Sheryl does not ignore the structural problems that exist in workplaces. She talks about bias, discrimination, and unfair policies. However, the focus of the book is on what individuals can do right now, even as they work to change systems over time. Leaning in is not about blaming women for inequality. It is about giving women tools and language to navigate the world as it is, while pushing it to be better. The book also highlights the importance of men as allies. Gender equality benefits everyone. Companies with diverse leadership perform better. Families are healthier when responsibilities are shared. Men play a crucial role in changing workplace culture, challenging stereotypes, and supporting women's advancement. Sheryl encourages open conversations between men and women about expectations, bias, and partnership. As the book moves forward, it returns again and again to the idea of choice. leaning in does not mean every woman must aim for the top or choose the same path. It means having the freedom and confidence to choose without being limited by fear or outdated norms. Some women may choose to focus more on family, some on career, and many on both at different times. The key is that these choices should be real choices, not forced by pressure or lack of support. The tone of the book is both practical and hopeful. Sheryl shares mistakes she has made and lessons she learned the hard way. She admits that she doesn't have all the answers. This honesty is part of the book's message. Progress comes from trying, failing, learning, and trying again. Small changes repeated over time can lead to big differences. Near the end of the book, Sheryl talks about the importance of speaking up, not just for yourself, but for others. When women support each other and challenge unfair behavior, they help create better environments for everyone. This includes calling out bias, giving credit where it's due, and encouraging the next generation to dream bigger. The book closes with a vision of a more equal world, a world where leadership reflects the diversity of society, a world where girls grow up